station that's on your side. This is News 12, First at 5.
More than a month after his death, the family of a Fort Jackson soldier says that they're still being kept in the dark. What we do and don't know coming up next.
But first, damaging winds blowing through our area last night, downing trees and causing several hundred people to lose power. While power has been restored, the cleanup, that is going to take a bit longer. As you can see, some pretty massive trees were knocked down in Columbia County, and no doubt you guys heard this last night.
Absolutely. I had branches falling on my roof last night, pine cones scattered all across the yard. We've got some work to do this weekend.
And a lot of you probably had shaking, nervous dogs throughout all of this. I know my 3 were not happy.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Man, it was all types of hazards yesterday. We had the wind threat that really knocked down a lot of trees and power lines, but the lightning was also really incredible with those storms. And unfortunately, moving forward this evening, we could see another round of them. You can see a slight risk does continue for most of the southern and western CSRA. So this is where the chance for severe weather is going to be highest. Everybody was underneath the slight risk yesterday. We have shifted that a little bit further south, but just a heads up, really anybody in the CSRA could find one of these stronger storms over the next several hours. Here's the way it's looking on our First Alert radar network. So this is just a wave of favorable spin or atmosphere that's now moving west to east. This is setting off these new showers and thunderstorms over North Georgia. They're going to continue dropping towards the south and east, and right now impacting metro Atlanta. They're still closer to I-75, but getting closer to the 85 corridor there. But right now the timing does look to kind of hold out at least for the next several hours, not until we get closer to around sunset. So between 6 and 9, 10 o'clock later tonight, that's when our rain chances do look highest for us here in Augusta, but really anywhere in the CSRA could see these storms bubble up over the next several hours. Heading into tomorrow, cannot rule out a passing shower storm at any point. We'll have much more on this weekend forecast in just a bit. Well, let's get a quick update on your First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
All right, folks, let's take a look outside of our building here. So looking at I-20 and Riverwatch Parkway, a little bit of some slow-moving traffic here at the 5 o'clock hour for that eastbound lane. Not too untypical for us around this time frame, but just a heads up, a little slow-moving there. We're still dry and seeing a little bit of sun out there over Augusta, but we'll have another update on radar and those storm chances in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Riley. A Richmond County deputy shot in the line of duty earlier this month. Deputy Kenneth Mercer was responding to a call of a homeless man with a gun in downtown Augusta when he was hurt.
Richmond County Sheriff Richard Roundtree saying donated blood helped save Deputy Mercer's life.
That's right. So today, a blood drive was held in Deputy Mercer's honor in downtown Augusta. Our Hallie Turner takes us there.
The atmosphere has been exactly how the community describes Deputy Mercer. Cheerful, exciting, and full of energy. And they say they're ready to give back to the man who's given so much to this community. When Deputy Mercer was shot in the line of duty, officials say he needed a lot of blood. Shepherd Community Blood Center tells me, even though the shortage of blood during the summer is tough, they had enough on the shelf ready to go to save his life. And today, they held this drive in his honor to replenish their supply. The foot traffic for Deputy Mercer's blood drive has been consistent all day. Friends, co-workers, and even those who don't know the deputy personally say when they heard the news, getting back was top of mind.
Such an awful situation, and police officers put their life on the line every single day, every day, to try to keep us safe, So I just wanted to do my part to say thank you for doing what you do for me to maintain my safety.
And coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we hear from the community as to why they felt the need for this blood drive and what's next for the Blood Collective.
All right, thanks for that, Hallie. New perspective from neighbors of Carly Russell about the effect of her disappearance is having on their neighborhood. Carly Russell claims she was kidnapped in Hoover, Alabama after spotting a child walking along a highway. Earlier this week, police released new information in the case that casts doubt on her story. Now, people who live in the same neighborhood where Russell reappeared say they want their quiet neighborhood back.
I would love our street back. We've had a lot more traffic, and I don't want to say that I'm saying that bad about the family. It's just, we just want our neighborhood back. I want my quiet street, my quiet neighborhood.
The investigation into what exactly happened to Carly Russell is ongoing. Russell's family says she is traumatized and is not ready to talk about it right now.
On June 12th, Sergeant First Class Jamie Contreras went missing on post during a land navigation exercise at Fort Jackson. Now the family of the fallen soldier says that they're still waiting for answers more than a month after his unexplained death. Now their frustrations came to a head when they say military leaders denied their viewing of his body after they were promised an open casket funeral.
As Andrew Fancher explains, little did they know this backstep was only the beginning.
What my son hoped to dedicate his adult life to is tainted.
It feels like we're doing all the work and questioning and reaching out and trying to get answers, and nobody's reaching out to us.
The family of late Sergeant First Class Jaime Contreras is citing a total lack of compassion from the branch he dedicated his life to. The 40-year-old soldier with nearly a decade of service under the 82nd Airborne died on week 8 of a 10-week class at the U.S. Army Drill Sergeant Academy in June.
I haven't been receiving any type of call or humanity. I and my daughter have to be the ones to press for that, to ask.
According to Contreras' mother, Thelma Gomez, the U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Division, or CID, said her son was found dead with rigor mortis setting in on the night of June 12th. But the same agency who's investigating Contreras' death per protocol listed his date of death as June 13th, which the family then printed on his obituary. Gomez and her daughter say CID then changed his date of death to June 12th, only to change it back once again to the 13th.
I feel like a ping pong ball. So June 12th, June 13th. Somebody at Fort Jackson needs to at least give me the semblance that they know what they're doing.
As it relates to CID's ongoing investigation, the family says they were notified via text that it was being extended an additional 6 to 8 months, meaning that's how long the family will have to wait without a straight answer as to how Contreras died within the confines of an academy on Fort Jackson.
It's kind of like they're trying to piecemeal what they can and get their story straight to tell the family and tell the public of what happened, but I really want to know what happened to my brother, whatever it may be. And that's what we're seeking, is just the honest truth, whatever it may be.
So it's up to you, Fort Jackson, and CID and investigators to come to me and tell me what's going on, because I will continue to ask those questions.
CID and Fort Jackson say they cannot share any additional details on this investigation at this time.
Well, take a look at this shocking video from DeKalb County, Georgia, where a woman says a stranger came up to her door with a Molotov cocktail in the front of her home and set the front of her home on fire. This all happening Wednesday when Monique Cole says that her dogs alerted her that something was very wrong. Her doorbell camera capturing the moments this man walked up to her door and poured a liquid out on it. Moments later, everything was on fire.
When I came out of my office, I saw flames underneath the door and black smoke coming into my living room. Never seen this person a day in my life. Literally, aside from my most immediate neighbors, nobody even really knows I exist.
The DeKalb County deputies are still searching for the suspect and says it's too early to tell if the man was intentionally trying to hurt Cole or somebody else.
A camp in Greenville teaching children with disabilities how to ride a bike. It's giving hope to families who feared this would be something their child could never do. And it's giving these kids the confidence they need to do it. Volunteers help students learn using a special training harness belt that sits at the bottom of the bike. Eventually, it's removed and they ride on 2 wheels. Eugene Schmidt has issues with coordination and balance, but through this program, he learned how to ride his bike. He says it was important for him to learn because of his mother, who passed away last year.
It was always her dream to see me on 2 wheels, and I was really sad, but it was bittersweet whenever I left the camp and I rode a bike, because I knew she was looking over at me, and I knew she couldn't see it. I couldn't see her see it, but I knew she was seeing me ride this bike, and she was jumping up and down for joy in heaven. So it just makes me feel so good that I tried it one more time.
Oh, good for him. This program is free, and the average time for a student to learn is just 1 week.
A new Georgia website could make job searching a little less stressful. How that works coming up next, Riley.
And most of us have remained dry so far today, but we are looking at storms to roll in later this evening. Update on radar and the forecast just after the break.
On News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll be talking to a woman who uses this crown as her platform to turn her pain into purpose.
Now.
It's a great time to get your lawn in shape with a new mower from Davis Appliance and Furniture. We offer no credit needed financing and delivery options to meet your needs. For the brands you trust at the lowest prices in town, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture. It's the perfect time to update your living space with a new sofa and love seat set from DavisPower.com for tips and programs to help save energy and money.
Whether you're a farmer, hunter, contractor, or weekend warrior, North Augusta Customs is your authority in trucking accessories. From hitches to step bars, toolboxes to tonneau covers, leather interiors, or window tinting, North Augusta Customs is committed to being your go-to shop. Your exclusive dealer of spray-on bed liners and truck gear accessories by Linux, both backed by a nationwide lifetime warranty. North Augusta Customs, located just across the river on Jefferson Davis Highway and on nacustoms.com.
It's the perfect time to update your living space with a new sofa and love seat set from Davis Appliance and Furniture, or update your indoor appliances with no credit needed financing. For the brands you trust at the lowest prices in town, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture.
Welcome back. We are looking at the chance for severe storms again this evening and early tonight. A slight risk is still in place for most of the southern and western CSRA. Luckily, we're not expecting tornadoes, but we are expecting the chance for some more strong straight line winds. So that's going to be the main concern with storms moving forward into tonight. Just make sure you are staying weather aware if you are going to be out and about. We are also dealing with some intense summer heat and humidity again this afternoon. We do have heat advisory still in effect for the southwestern CSRA that will stay in effect until 8 p.m. tonight. Good news is moving forward this weekend, we do drop that heat and humidity a little bit. Definitely not going to see these type heat index values tomorrow or through the weekend. Now, our heat index, currently speaking, is still over 100 for us here in Augusta. And most spots around the CSRA are feeling up to that triple-digit mark, so it is still very intensely hot. And there's still a good bit of moisture in the air, so this is allowing these thunderstorms to start to really blossom, and they're starting to shoot up as far as 40 to 50,000 feet high, but they're staying fairly small and discreet. They're not really bunching together and forming a strong line of storms like what we saw yesterday, but even though the coverage will be a little bit less, we'll still have that opportunity to see a few hit or miss severe weather storms out there over the next several hours. So pushing forward, once we get to around 8, 9 o'clock, that appears to be when we're seeing kind of the main impacts from this wave moving in. And then into the overnight, can have a lot of passing shower storm for most spots, but it looks like that coverage will remain isolated overnight. For tomorrow morning, our model here is not showing rain, but I'm looking at a lot of other models that are showing rain. So don't necessarily take this with a little grain of salt because there definitely could be some rainfall out there early Saturday. And then the Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, a front's still hanging around, so that'll keep the rain chances with us. But by Sunday, that front does sink a little bit further south and closer towards the coast, and it looks like we should see less storm activity by Sunday afternoon. I say less, but still not zero, so we'll go from a 30% chance of rain throughout the day on Saturday to a 20% on Sunday. I think the biggest thing you'll notice this weekend is that high temperatures will feel much better. We're only going to see highs in the low 90s Saturday and Sunday. And the storm chances still could maybe see an isolated severe storm Saturday for our southern parts of the viewing area, but by Sunday, we're back to just general summer thunderstorms, not really expecting as high of a severe threat to end off the weekend. And those rain chances for the weekend, it's not going to be an all-day washout, but really at any point during the day Saturday, 20 to 40% chance of rain just kind of on and off across the region. And then similar day Sunday, just a little bit less of a chance as we head later into the day. With these storms, they have been producing strong wind. The concern this weekend is that they'll start to produce some heavier rainfall. That could trigger maybe a few minor flood alerts for those flood-prone areas. Doesn't look like we're going to see a lot of widespread flooding impacts, though. So just if you do get clipped underneath one of those smaller storms. Next week, we do start to dry out a little bit. Looks like our storm chances will remain less than 20% next Monday through Friday, and those temperatures will just gradually increase each day next week.
Thanks, Riley. In June, the unemployment rate was 3.6%, but despite this, many people with college degrees or work experience are finding it difficult to find a job in the field that they want to be in.
In just a few months, the state of Georgia is releasing a new job search website aiming to fix that. Patrick Quinn has the details.
Inside this Atlanta coffee shop, meet Felicia Julian and Diana Manatikanai.
It's one letter more than Mississippi.
Highly caffeinated, every week they meet to work on their resumes, bonding over cover letters and the trials of unemployment.
So I called and was like, sorry, I gotta cancel my insurance.
Oh my God, that sucks. That's real.
Felicia got her master's in fine arts in 2018, but has not been able to put that to use. She just applied for a job at Trader Joe's.
It is survival mode, right? It's not using my degree, it's not using my passion.
I asked them to write down on a piece of paper what they think they're worth. Both said 6 figures.
Those are not high numbers. If you look at the cost of living, how much groceries are, how much rent is, do the breakdown, those are not high.
Felicia and Diana just want an opportunity to show their value. And the state might soon be able to better help.
We just believe it's going to be a game changer. We truly do.
I sat down with State Commissioner Greg Dozier. Next month, Dozier and the Technical College System of Georgia will take over workforce programming from the Department of Labor.
We believe that brings the entire continuity for someone who's looking for a job, and also making sure the workforce of the futures here in Georgia continues to grow.
And one of their first initiatives, a revamped website similar to Indeed or LinkedIn.
So it's a one-stop for everyone, from the industry to the citizen, but especially for the state of Georgia.
Felicia said she'll give the website a shot, but feels networking is the name of the game. Until they get that call, the two will lean on each other for comfort and coffee.
I feel hopeless but optimistic because I know that I'm excellent and I know what I can bring to the table.
Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.
Love that last shot was on her resume. So if anybody with jobs is hiring, you can see that there. This new website will replace employgeorgia.com, and again, it will launch this September.
Well, tens of thousands of South Carolinians carry a genetic condition known as Fragile X syndrome. We'll take a look at what it is and why people are raising awareness for this condition coming up next.
First Alert Radar.
Experience the difference. Uneven sidewalks, pool decks, or patios, get a
We can fix it.
Today, families and advocates gathered at the State House to bring awareness to a genetic condition for which tens of thousands of South Carolinians are carriers.
It's called Fragile X syndrome, and it's the most common cause of inherited intellectual disability. Our State House reporter Mary Green was there and has the details.
Governor Henry McMaster has declared July 22nd as Fragile X Awareness Day in South Carolina. It's a genetic condition that has no known cure or treatment specifically for it.
To raise awareness about Fragile X, we of course have to talk about it, research it, and educate others about what it actually means to being affected by it.
Lauren Cooperman and her sister Nicole were both diagnosed with Fragile X syndrome as children and say it has posed challenges in their lives. But Lauren has since graduated from USC, and Nicole is now a student at Midlands Technical College, and their family has become leading advocates in South Carolina for spreading awareness about Fragile X. They and others gathered at the State House on Friday to do that, marking Fragile X Awareness Day in South Carolina, which is officially on Saturday. Experts say funding is critically important to expand research and connect people diagnosed with Fragile X syndrome with therapeutic services, especially in their adulthood.
I'm here today to raise awareness of the substantial barriers faced by adults with Fragile X and other disabilities in our South Carolina community. These include long wait lists for disability services, limited supported employment opportunities, and service networks that are disjointed and difficult to navigate.
And some of the leading research into Fragile X is happening just down the road from here. The University of South Carolina ranks among the nation's top institutes for clinical research into Fragile X conditions. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
And there's also an effort to find a treatment specifically for Fragile X through clinical trials. Some of them are happening right now in South Carolina at the Greenwood Genetics Center.
Georgia's farming industry is becoming more and more dependent on new farming technology. That's why hundreds gathered in Moultrie, Georgia for the annual Sunbelt Ag Expo Field Day. It's where new gadgets are tested out, like a spray drone, for example, that can fly over crops and spray pesticides. Many farmers say that while a green thumb is important, the new gadgets will help sustain what they've already built.
We're already getting, planning for next year and talking with these companies about what they want to do on the farm for next year and what's in the pipeline and what's coming up. And it's just crazy. You think you get on top of things and there's constantly new technology and something new coming out.
There will be another expo in Moultrie coming up in October where even more farming tech will be unveiled and possibly even implemented all across Georgia. Riley, farming's going high tech.
Absolutely, and I'm sure our farmers are happy with the rain we've seen recently, and we got the chance for more storms tonight and tomorrow, but less of a chance rolling into next week. Now look at that 7-day coming up.
The 2023 Get the best in unique men's sports, only the finest in men's clothing.
Well, this just in, a judge has put off the decision to dismiss murder charges in the case of Leilani Simon. She is accused of dumping her toddler's body in a dumpster in Chatham County. Leilani's defense has asked to get rid of her murder charges, saying that the indictment is too vague. In the indictment, the state alleges that Leilani assaulted Quinton with an object that resulted in serious bodily injury leading to death. The indictment doesn't say what that object may have been. The judge said that she will take the indictment into consideration and make a ruling later. Riley?
Well, we can actually see a little blue sky out there this afternoon. After a week-long stretch of just kind of smoky, hazy skies, we finally cleared that out a little bit. No air quality warnings in effect across the region, and it looks like traffic is moving a little bit better on the eastbound lane on I-20 here close to the state line. Temperatures today, back where they should be for the middle of July. 93 feel like temperatures over 100. Those numbers will go down, though, as we roll into the weekend. This is what we're looking ahead to this evening. You can see a complex of showers and thunderstorms racing across Alabama, Tennessee, and North Georgia. All that's moving towards the southeast and trying to show up to us a little bit later tonight. So make sure you are staying weather aware if you do have any evening plans. At the moment, nothing super close to the CS race, so this is going to be a waiting game over the next several hours before these storms do reach us. But keep in mind, even closer to sunset, we could see those severe storms show up. For the weekend, our highs will stay below average in the low 90s, and going to have to watch out for more of those storms through the weekend.
All right, thanks, Riley. That's all the time we have, but stick with us. We have much more news and weather coming up after a short break as News 12 Live at 5 continues.
Introducing the First Alert Radar Network.
With up to 10 times the